pretty far back in their order when he come back out of the pits.
Tony's in 13th. That was Todd's car being pushed to the garage. We're back to green as it waves now at New Hampshire International. Dale Jarrett, the leader at lap 174. Of course, Jarrett, one of the few who chose not to come in. And by virtue of that, he assumed the lead. Glenn, why'd your brother stay out?
Well, they couldn't make it the rest of the way on fuel, and his buddy said that was the best that he had run all day. He was running the quickest laps on the racetrack. Rusty Wallace came in, took 2. The reason Tony Stewart's so far back, he took 4.
Well, that explains all the doings on pit road.
And how do you say 5-point bonus?
Yeah.
He just got it. He led that lap and got his 5-point bonus for leading the race. Look at this, side by side, the 2 car there of Wallace and Earnhardt really battling right now for second spot.
It's been a while since we've seen this view, but it's a fun view to see when those 2 guys get battling side by side for position.
Earnhardt just drove her deep, deep down in the corner. You see Rusty right now being overtaken by Bobby Labonte in the green car there.
On the high side yet.
And he gets in line, Wallace does, just ahead of Schrader. Bobby Labonte, interesting pit stop, Ralph.
They sure did, Eli. They came in, took 4 tires of fuel, but they dropped the air pressure in the rear tires to get more forward fight to help Bobby out the corner.
Forward fight.
Yep, when you get back in the throttle, if it'll hook up and really run off the corner straight instead of trying to slide out on you, it's so important on this flat track. You can see if you start out, he's getting great forward fight there. You can see Earnhardt's car trying to slide out just a little bit. Bobby Labonte's car running straight line off the corner.
And Steve, how about Jeff Burton? He's right now in 10th, kind of sitting there in the middle of all that pack of traffic.
Yeah, a couple of updates, Eli. Last stop, they took 2 tires. This time, they took 4 tires and made a track bar adjustment. I asked one of the crew members. They said the water temperature is fine. They're not concerned about overheating at this point. Also, Elliott Sadler, 4 tires and a track bar adjustment. They were running 3rd, but went out on the track 12th.
We're about 177, riding with Stewart. Goes by Brett Bodine.
Yow.
Gordon and Musgrave.
How would you like to have your hand between those 2 in the center of the corner?
That's not for position. Gordon is 11th. Musgrave's a lap down in 31st there in car 75.
And for the record, they're running about 125 miles an hour in here.
Tony Stewart coming off the corner there. Look at this battle for second, though. Bobby Labonte now trying to get by Earnhardt as they head down into turn 1.
Earnhardt's got that second spot. Oh, and Bobby almost lost. Did you see the car kick out?
He went way up there.
And that wasn't anything to do with forward bite. That was loose getting in by driving too far into the corner and losing a grip going through the corner.
Wallace goes by. You saw Rick Mast go by. He's now just ahead of Bobby.
These long straightaways, I asked a couple of the drivers why they don't shift at the end of the straightaway so they could get a little bit more going into the corner. And they pretty much universally said, if we went any faster going into the corners, we'd never make it through the corners.
Good point.
And they said, Doc, you stick to the sprint cars. We'll do this.
Yeah, you don't have to back off on those. Just run wide open. Well, they got rev limiters in these things, though, and that keeps the engine from getting too many RPMs.
Here's a piece of trivia, guys. If Dale Earnhardt hangs up there in the top 10, and there he is now in second, feeling the heat of Rusty, if he finishes in the top 10, it would be his 400th time to finish in the top 10 in his career, and he'd be only the 3rd guy to have earned 400 or more top 10s in their Winston Cup career. Do you know who the other guys are? Let the fans think about it. Folks at home, think about it a while. 2 other guys, 2 guys right now, have 400 or more top 10 finishes in their careers. And if Earnhardt gets one here today or whenever, he'd be the 3rd, only the 3rd to do so.
I think I know.
Who do you think?
I would say Darrell Waltrip for one. How about Cale Yarborough? Oh, my.
3 for a quarter. Want to try again?
I know Richard Petty. I mean, that's
everybody knows
obvious.
Richard Petty. The other one is a tough one. Bobby Allison.
Oh.
BA has 440 top 10 finishes.
Whoa.
Richard Petty has 693. And look at that scramble right there, Rick Mast and Dale Earnhardt.
Dale Earnhardt's car absolutely goes away on him after about 10 laps. Right now, he's pedaling towards the back right now. 3 cars got by him just a second ago. You can see him. He's totally out of it right now.
All on the bottom. He can't keep the car down on the racetrack.
Earnhardt's in fourth. Labonte trying to grab it away. That's Terry.
Terry will just drive right by him going in the corner. Earnhardt knows he has a Hamlin problem. Whoa!
All these cars get a little squirrely now.
All eyes turn to those two when they go in the corner side by side.
Joe Nemechek now trying to make the move on Earnhardt. That's for 7th spot. Dale just backsliding now. Here comes the 99 Burt.
You know, Kenny Schrader's all the way up to 6th spot right now.
Meanwhile, we were curious as to what happened to Todd Bodine as you watch Jeff Burton now try and grab the spot away from Earnhardt. Todd's down in the garage area. Let's find out what happened there on the backstretch.
Eli, he's just climbed out of the race car. Todd, what happened? What put you out?
Well, it's just a racing deal. Nobody's fault. Schrader got in the back of me. While I was pushing the issue a little bit to get by, I slid up and he got under me, and I tried to get back down the line, and evidently there wasn't enough room, and Schrader got in the back of me. Just one of those things that happens at a tight short track. Good racing. I tell you, it's a shame we had a possible top 10 going here. We had a really good car. Barry was making all the right adjustments. Good pit stops. The crew's been working hard on that. Jimmy Dean car was running good. It's a shame we couldn't be out there.
Todd Bodine's done for the day, guys.
Barry, of course, is Barry Dodson. And, buddy, we couldn't see it, but you were right. You guessed that somebody touched him.
Well, normally you don't spin off that corner unless there's something wrong. You have a pretty straight run out of there, but if somebody touches you, the back of the car is very, very light getting out of turn 2.
Todd was 16th at the time of the accident. There's your race leader, Dale Jarrett, took over the top spot at lap 171. He's got his bonus points. Now he's setting sail.
There's a lot more to working in AutoZone than looking up parts or ringing up sales. And it has to do with taking pride in taking care of customers. Like testing an old part before selling a new one. Or simply having what they need when they need it. In other words, it's about taking care of people who take care of cars. And that's what we do best at AutoZone.
Pete Conrad, Apollo 12 astronaut, just broke the world speed record for a round-the-world flight. Pete, what's your secret?
To break records, you need performance and reliability. That's why Duralube's in every one of my engines.
Pete knows that Duralube engine treatment reduces friction in your car engine, increasing fuel mileage, reducing engine wear, and increasing your engine's life. Duralube, it's not just an engine treatment. It's tomorrow's technology, today.
At Burger King, we're always trying to make Have It Your Way better.
Good morning. Sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit and Cine Minis.
There's no train, but our tasty breakfast menu's ready at 6 a.m. to get you going on the right track. When you have it your way, it just tastes better.
Some people get nervous when that door goes up. Not me. But then I deliver to all the shops. Nervous people like crunchy food. Don't sell much nervous food here.
Goodwrench Good Time Savings means great deals, like brake service front or rear for only $99.99 or less. It's a good time to see GM Goodwrench Service Plus.
Good time savings? No wonder I don't sell any nervous food here.
When the male is in pursuit of the female, the slightest scent of unpleasantness may send the female running. Thus, Right Guard Clear Gel or Clear Stick. Powerful protection from odor and wetness that glides on clear. Right Guard. Anything less would be uncivilized.
TNN Motorsports live coverage of the Duralube Kmart 300 is being brought to you by your GM Goodwrench service dealer. We want your business. And by Gillette Right Guard Stick and Clear Gel. We went green at 12:45. 2 minutes later, that happened. Caution number 1. Jeffrey Bodine spins, bouncing off Wally Dollin back in the world, goes around behind him. At lap 10, a few moments thereafter, Dave Marcus spun after he too made contact with another car. Lap 94, it was Kevin LePage's turn. And at lap 125, John Andretti and many others tangled in 1 and 2. Lap 142, Kenny Wallace spun. And those are just 5 of the 7 cautions. This is the last one. Todd Bodine out of the corner, into the wall, and we had yet another yellow. But through it all, Dale Jarrett continues as the race leader. He is, at this stage of the day, one of the handful of leaders who have shown the way. Rusty Wallace, Tony Stewart, Steve Park, Joe Nemechek, Rick Mast, Terry Labonte, and now Dale Jarrett. So you're up to speed. Those in the garage are Ricky Craven, John Andretti, Ricky Rudd, David Green, and Todd Bodine. Hey, watch what happened while we were in the commercial break.
Rich Bickle there in the 9 gets chunked just a little bit by Jeff Gordon. Very lucky to hang on to that number 9 car.
This was the pass for second.
Not much there. I mean, Rusty looked down. Bobby Labonte had the position, just moved right on by him. Looking at Bobby just going around here having a great time.
I wouldn't want to do it. It looks effortless. But it's not. Look at this, 3.2 seconds now from first place back to second. That's what it looks like here at the New Hampshire track.
Somebody must have scared Dale Jarrett. He's really got on the pedal there. He moved right away from these guys. He's got it going pretty well now. The car looks like it's handling pretty well. The only match for him out there right now, I think, is Bobby Labonte, and he had a little struggle getting up through the pack here.
BJ's got a 3.2-second lead on Labonte and just effortlessly running very, very smoothly, very well out there. We watched Tony Stewart, Earnhardt go at it for 9th.
Tony Stewart had a bad pit stop, and he dropped all the way back to 17th place, and now he's battling his way back towards the front again.
Saw Jeff Gordon there. Little glimpse of him. He's in 11th spot right now with a very badly beaten up race car. There he is.
Stewart, Earnhardt, Jeff Gordon, 9th, 10th, and 11th. MCI WorldCom bringing you NASCAR timing and scoring in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. Riding again with Bobby Labonte, and now Tony Stewart.
And they are first and second in miles completed, believe it or not, in the whole Winston Cup circuit. Both cars owned by Joe Gibbs. First and second in miles completed. That's a testimony both to drivers and to crew preparation.
Earnhardt's in 10th, Ralph.
Eli, I spoke to crew chief Kevin Hamlin about the car. He says it's very, very loose. Now, they only took 2 tires on their last pit stop, but he says it's not a problem with the tires. He said just their chassis setup is way too loose today.
Dale Earnhardt has never won here, or in Texas, or in California. Watkins Glen.
That's basically it. And 73 times you'd think he's won everywhere, but there are certain racetracks that just give you a little more tolerance than others.
Well, he's come close here. He's finished second in the Busch Series races here, and he's been second twice in Winston Cup as well, just never won one.
There's the interval back to the 18, Bobby Labonte. Then from him, 1.2 seconds back to that man, Rusty Wallace. So they are 4. Rusty is now 4 7/10 behind Dale Jarrett. Then you've got Bobby Labonte and Rick Mast in 4th and 5th. We're working the middle stages of the Duralube Kmart 300. Everybody's settling down for the moment after 7 caution periods. The point leader is the race leader.
You know, this place reminds me of a guy I knew named Julius.
Another Darrell Waltrip story.
Oh, really. This guy, he was in the junkyard one day kicking around, and he found a rocket booster. So he says, I'm going to set myself a land speed record. So he got that thing up to speed. He hit the switch. He took off into outer space.
So whatever happened to him?
He came down out here somewhere.
Get out of here.
Oh,
Now, Kmart.
It's new, it's cool, it's easy to use. It's an internet site that features over 350,000 name brand products, children instructions, and a place for people who love their car. www.wrenchhead.com. Register now. Proud sponsor of NASCAR Rocks. Wrenchhead.com.
It's your time, it's our time to reach for the stars on TNN.
Next week.
10 days of All-Stars on TNN.
Biggest race of the year? Next time, plan ahead. Or you could just watch Inside NASCAR. Join Ned Jarrett and get the latest info on your favorite NASCAR stars. Inside NASCAR. Weekends on TNN Motorsports. Guaranteed to get you inside NASCAR.
Hope you've had a chance to check out NASCAR online before the races, during, after the races, anytime throughout the week. www.nascar.com, your 24-hour NASCAR Garage Pass, and truly it's updated all the time and has every bit of the latest NASCAR news, not just the top series, but all of the NASCAR Touring Series. Check it out. And by the way, you know the holiday season's not that far away. You can see the holidays from here. NASCAR Thunder stores are open all across the country. Great place for you to swing on by and get those special NASCAR gifts you might be needing. For locations and more information, just call the number you see on the screen. That number operational Monday through Friday. You'll find out where the nearest NASCAR Thunder store is to you.
Happy holidays.
That used to be a heck of a song. There's Dale Jarrett. 3.7 tenths of a second. 3.7 is the advantage. On second place, Bobby Labonte. There he is right there. Then it is 2 full seconds back to Rusty Wallace. There those 2 seconds are. So first, second, third separated by 5.7 seconds. Here comes Terry Labonte now. He is 6.9 behind the race leader. Then you work yourself back through some race traffic. That'll be Sterling Marlin right there. He's in 28th, being shown a lap down. Then you come to Tony Stewart. He's 9.2 behind the leader, running in 5th spot. Tony on the lead lap. Right behind him, Joe Nemechek, then Jeff Burton. They are in 6th and 7th place, respectively. Again, a goodly distance behind the leader. They're 9 and 10 seconds back. Schrader, the 33. He's running in 8th place. He's 11 seconds behind the leader. Then Dale Earnhardt. He is in 9th, all on the lead lap, 11 and a half back. Rick Mast in the 98th. He's running in 10th, 11.9 behind. Then Jeff Gordon. He's in the 11th position, 12.1 seconds back. Elliott Sadler, he's running in 12th. Still on the lead lap. And you've got Johnny Benson. He'll be way back there. He comes pivoting into the picture. The 26 is Benson. He's now 16 behind the leader. And the 9 right there, running in 29th spot, that is Rich Bickle. He is a lap down. He's completed 206 of the 207. Chad Little is the number 97 car now. He, too, is finding himself a lap down. He's in 30th position. Kenny Wallace, after extensive repairs, 8 laps down and 34th. He was involved in that caution earlier in the day, you might remember. Has the modified look on his car. Then you've got others working through traffic. 11 is Brett Bodine. He's in 31st, a lap down. The 7 is Michael Waltrip. He's on the lead lap in 14th, 21 seconds back. Skinner, the 31. Hamilton in the 4. The 1 of Park. They are all on the lead lap. 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th. The 23 of Spencer, also on the lead lap right now. And here comes Wally Dallenbach. He, too, being shown on the lead lap. Then you drop further back to Kevin LePage in the 16 car. He's in 20th place. The 44 is Kyle Petty. Remember, he had that oil line problems. He is 9 laps down, running on the racetrack in 35th. Kenny Irwin, he's in 21st spot, a lap behind the race leader. The 58 is Hut Strickland. He, too, is a lap down in 22nd. Then you've got Ted Musgrave in the 32nd spot, car number 75. Bill Elliott is in the 94. He's running 23rd. He is being shown a lap down. The 12 is Jeremy Mayfield. He's 16 back in 38th position. Jeffrey Bodine, after problems early in the day, he is now 17 laps behind in 36th. As the field then cycles its way back towards Mark Martin, he is a lap down in 24th position at this stage of the day. You've not seen Ward Burton. There he is. He's in 25th and also a lap back, so he and Mark Martin battling for position. Others on the racetrack at this stage include the 14 of Randy LaJoy. He had some brake problems earlier in the Federated Auto Parts car. We ride with Randy LaJoy right now, being shown on the racetrack in 37th place. Looking back behind him, Dave Marcus in the 71. Dave is now a lap down, almost 2 down, because here comes the leader, Dale Jarrett. Marcus is in 26th. And now we'll go 2 laps down. So that's the whole field, with the exception of the 36 right there, Jerry Nadeau. Nadeau is a couple of laps down in 32nd position. The 77 is Robert Presley. We've not talked about him. He has got a lap down right now in 27th position. So let's see how he's doing. Haven't checked on his numbers lately. On the brakes pretty hard, down to, 91 miles an hour there in the corner.
5,400 RPM as he starts down the straightaway. You'll see the RPMs come up around 84, 8,500. Well, how about 83?
So you've seen everybody on the racetrack. The others are in the garage. Ricky Craven, John Andretti, Ricky Rudd, David Green, and Todd Bodine. Their days are done.
This dog can't tell the difference between a radiator hose and a bone. Other dogs, perhaps, but not this one. That's why at Advance Auto Parts, it's our job to carry over 1 million parts. So we'll always have the parts you need, just in case you run into this dog, or one like him.
Ever since Mobil 1 came along, other oil companies have tried to copy it to make a synthetic of their own. But if you take a look at how a copycat performs after some hard miles and compare it to new Mobil 1, it's obvious that all synthetics aren't alike. Today's Mobil 1 is tri-synthetic. It won't sludge up on you. It'll actually make your engine run smoother. The other stuff, not in my car.
Nothing outperforms Mobil 1.
Guys, I'm coming in.
What is it, Mike? Is it too loose?
No, it's my kitchen. I want to remodel, but I don't know where to start.
What? Dave, you're the kitchen guy. Get in here.
Okay, here's what you do.
When it comes to home improvement, there's no better team to work with than Team Lowe's. Lowe's, proud sponsor of Winston Cup Team number 31 and its World Championship pit crew.
Hey, Larry, let me talk to that kitchen guy again.
It's for you.
We're with the 3rd, 4th, and 5th crew members of Team 10-10-345. To help you remember that with 10-10-345 long distance, all calls from home are just 10 cents a minute. Corpus Christi. No, that's fine. Guys.
Hey, what are you doing?
Guys, Rich is here. Guys, oh, heck, I'll do it myself.
Hey there, everyone.
With 10-10-345, talk as long as you want for the same flat rate all the time. Dial 10-10-345 and save today. Be careful on the curves.
You're looking at Dale Jarrett. Remember, folks, that when the other leaders pitted at lap 169, Dale did not. As a result, he inherited the lead, but we've got to be coming up real close on a pit stop for him. He came in at lap 127. Remember, these laps are a bit over a mile. Yep, here he comes. You knew he had to be darn near the end of his fuel cell. And Glenn, that's going to hand the lead to another brother. It'll be Bobby Labonte taking over the top spot.
Yeah, DJ had stretched that thing as far as he could. The one reason they stayed out is he and Todd Barrett were in a pretty heavy discussion as to how many tires they were going to change, whether it would be 2 or 4. It looks like that it's going to be a 4-tire change. They peeled the cover off the windshield.
Caution.
We got caution.
Oh, boy. Michael Waltrip is in the wall hard. Dale Jarrett is on the pit lane. This is at lap number 219. Let's go back to Glenn.
Yeah. All right, Eli. Dale heard the caution on the radio, and he took off and ran over the air hose, so they're going to bring him back in.
Oh, it's going to be costly. Costly. Oh, Michael used up that race car.
Yeah, that thing's really damaged. You can see the left side there hard into the wall.
Used up, Michael.
Concrete dust all in the wheels there.
They've had a tough ride. This is 8 out of the last 15 races. They've had problems of one kind or another. Transmissions, engines, crashes.
He was in 25th at the time of the accident. So Jarrett was caught on pit road, then goes over the air hose. And for those of you who are new to NASCAR, that is an infraction. You cannot run over the air hose. So he'll be coming back in. Let's take a look at what happened here. Everything happened at once. Watch here now. He'll hear on his headset from a spotter that Michael has just hit the wall. You see the air hose there in front. They say caution. The jack falls. Air hose still on the ground. That'll cost you.
Well, in fact, The fact that the jack dropped, that's the sign to go.
Let's go to Steve Burns.
Hey, Eli, Terry Labonte's in. Oh, just 2 tires, right sides for Terry Labonte, and he's away.
Ralph Shaheen.
Bobby Labonte is in for 4 tires of fuel. He is asking to have the track bar lowered 1 round, which is just a 1/4 of an inch. Glenn?
And Dale Jarrett comes back in for the other side tire. Tony Stewart was in and took 2 tires. Dale Jarrett is down and away. Tony Stewart took on 4. Dale Jarrett took the 2 left side. He did not get last time by.
So everybody is in at lap 221 of 300 as caution comes out at lap 220 when Michael Waltrip hit the turn 4 wall. Dale Jarrett's number being posted again. An update in a moment.
Coming in, guys.
Look, Bill's in trouble.
Don't worry, Bill. We'll take it from here.
Go, 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 go,
Bill! Here!
Where can you always find a fast and friendly drive-thru crew? Did somebody say McDonald's?
We've heard your complaints about changing your oil filter, trying to grip that slippery filter. That's why Fram, America's #1 filter, now has Sure Grip, a rough textured top for easy gripping and installing.
It makes changing your oil filter a lot easier.
Pep Boys has your brand of motor oil at unbelievably low prices, like Pennzoil or Quaker State for only 99 cents a quart. Choose either Pennzoil or Quaker State for a limited time at just 99 cents.
Pep Boys. Cars like us. People love us. Thursday nights, TNN Sofa Cinema. Comedian Bill Engvall takes his big, comfy sofa on the road.
Tonight, we're here in the very hip Times Square in New York City.
The movie, Dead Man's Revenge with bad guy Bruce Dern.
Execute him.
Premieres September 30th on TNN.
Places with Cooper Discoverers. But first, you'll have to go here, your exclusive Cooper tire dealer.
GEX in Hampton and Newport News.
Car thieves steal more than just cars. Because of them, we all pay more for insurance and lose the services of officers whose time could be spent keeping our neighborhoods safe. Because of them, we all lose. But there is a way to make car thieves pay. If you have information about an auto theft or the theft of vehicle parts, call 1-800-947-HEAT. If your information leads to an arrest, you could get a reward of up to $10,000. Because of you, we all win.
Callers do not have to identify themselves or appear in court.
Welcome back, everybody. What a change of storylines here. A 1-lap penalty has just been assessed to Dale Jarrett for pitting out of the pit box. That is a written NASCAR rule. Even if you are blocked in by another car in the area, it is your responsibility to get your car into your pit box. If you do not do that, it is a 1-lap penalty. So Dale Jarrett goes from being a leader with 3.5 seconds of a lead over Bobby Labonte to now over a lap down. Here's what the caution was all about. You see near the middle of your screen, that was Michael Waltrip.
That's Michael Waltrip right up there into the wall. Hard in there with the left side of the car. We don't know. It was a little far away for me to tell what really set it off.
Now, here's the first incident again. If you're just coming back from the fridge, the first problem that Jarrett had was when Michael hit the wall. He gets the word right there. The jack goes down and the air hose gets caught. So they have to bring him back in for a penalty. Now, watch here. Wait for the 88 to come in, and you'll see, because of Tony Stewart and Hamilton, he has to kind of wedge in. But he's out of the box.
He's way out of the box.
Yeah, no doubt.
That yellow line right there is the outside of the box, about halfway down through the middle part of the car.
The team owner, Robert Yates, not real happy, but that was a clear rules infraction, the 1-lap penalty. So Jarrett will now be in 26th, and he will be, at this stage, 1 lap down, but a long, long way behind.
And only 75 laps to go to make it up. He has got a lot of work to do and not much time in which to do it.
Well, what he has to do right now is have a little patience. I know he's aggravated, but he has that mindset with the big picture is what he's after. I'm sure he's going to take his time and try to get back in the lead lap, but I don't think he's going to do anything stupid by trying too hard and maybe causing a wreck.
Boy, Kyle Petty there wiggling. He got hit in the back end.
Remember, Kyle had a great run going earlier that had the oil line problem. Puts him 8 laps down now. Kyle's in 34th. Bobby Labonte is in 3rd. Oh, and there goes Stewart around him. So that changes quickly
You wouldn't
enough.
have made a very good driver, I don't think, Eli. You do a lot of hollering, but you wouldn't do much steering. You hollered, but you never turned your hands. I was turning my hands.
You want to ride in a rental car with Baker. He uses his feet for the brakes, too, I'll tell you.
Well, anybody would when they ride with you.
Remember, the point lead was 270 for Dale Jarrett coming in. And that was over Mark Martin, you'll remember. So as they run right now, you'd see Martin drop a position and close in just a bit. But we've still got plenty of racing. We're only at lap 227 of 300.
See Tony Stewart right now trying to work his way back. Kyle Petty right there was one of the lead cars most of the day for some of you guys that are just joining us right now, but he had a problem with an oil line and lost several laps. So the car was good enough maybe to even bring a victory to him, but right now he's laps down.
That's the battle for the lead. Terry Labonte has it. And Joe Nemechek, who has only led 4 events this year, wants to grab a piece of it. Nemechek led 4 laps at Atlanta, a lap at Talladega, 4 laps at Daytona for the Pepsi, and then a lap a week or so ago, a couple of weeks back at Darlington.
And I talked to him yesterday. Nemechek is out of this ride at the end of the year. Yesterday he told me he does not yet have anything firm for year 2000. Well, every car owner watching this knows this guy can run well, and here is good proof of his ability.
Terry,
look at this.
up. He's going to take the lead, it looks like.
Nemechek for the lead.
No, Terry kind of powers back down the straightaway, about a half a furlong lead. And now, look, going in the corner, it won't be much of a fight. Nemechek leads.
A NASCAR Busch Series winner here in New Hampshire, now leading in Winston Cup competition with 70 laps to go. Lap 230, it's swapped around.
What a story it would be if Nemechek could win this thing here at New Hampshire this afternoon in the Bell South Chevrolet.
That little piece dragging behind his bumper there is not anything to worry about. It's almost a rubber content, the rear bumper on these cars. That's a little tear in that, so it's not a problem.
Hey, Ralph, you know that Joe hasn't had a top 5 since April of last year at Texas?
Eli, he really could use this, as you folks pointed out upstairs in the booth, looking for that new ride next year. As he took the lead, the crew over the radio said, Mr. Nemechek, this race is now yours to win or lose. Steve Burns?
Well, Ralph, the same situation for Terry Labonte, because if this race stays green, we are done with pit stop. I talked to Andy Graves, the crew chief. They put 2 tires on Terry Labonte's car and made a track bar adjustment on that last stop. So again, if it stays green, it's all up to the driver.
That's the way it ought to be, too. I'd like to see that as they come down the stretch.
Oh, look at this.
3 wide.
4 wide.
Spencer.
Well, I knew one that wasn't going to back off, and he's leading that line right now.
Back. Earnhardt comes out of there with the 10th spot. Schrader grabs 11th in the 33. Rick Mast will grab 12th. Skinner's going to grab 13th away from Spencer, possibly there in the corner.
There's 2 tough race car drivers.
Mike Skinner's been involved in 3 accidents today. Done a lot of damage to the front of the car, and is still flying around this racetrack.
They weren't even optimistic this morning about their chances today. They thought the car was not very good at all. Made a lot of changes, threw about everything at it that they had. This is fun. Skinner on the inside. Spencer on the outside.
Bobby Hamilton there in the 4 car. Hadn't been a great day for him. He thought he had a car maybe that would win the race, but he has had a tough race.
There goes Spencer in 13th. Sayonara. Everybody goes by to the inside. Steve Park now closing in. He's in 18th spot. trying to grab the position away. Ted Musgrave in the middle of all that, though Ted's in 30th spot. He's a couple of laps back.
He's coming on the inside.
You heard them say they're coming to the inside. Kenny Irwin in the Texaco car. Ward Burton in the Cat machine. Ward led lap 222. That was the choir tuning up.
Yes, it was. Kenny Irwin Jr. right under Bodine. Bodine rolls out the throttle and lets him go right on by on the bottom side.
There's Joe Nemechek. His best finish here at New Hampshire and Winston Cup was 13th back in 1997. His wife Andrea rooting him on.
Hold it, Harry. You know you can't use Duraloop fuel treatment in your Indy car. It's an unfair advantage.
I'm not allowed to use this product in my Indy car, but in my road car, I want the Duraloop advantage.
Duraloop is scientifically formulated to clean, condition, and protect your fuel system for a smoother running engine with more power and less harmful emissions. Duraloop fuel treatment, tomorrow's technology today.
Bosch Platinum Plus 4. Four electrodes. Pure platinum. Take your engine to a higher power. Bosch Platinum Plus 4.
Oh, brother, now I've seen it all.
What's that?
They gave the ferret a teleprompter.
Teleprompter. Well, I guess he can't memorize his lines, huh?
Memorize his lines. The guy's a door jam.
He-
I don't know why they give him so much slack.
Well, that's because he's got a good look.
A good look?
Yeah, look, I mean, looks like a little European filmmaker.
I had a good look.
Louis, no lizard has a good look.
What are you talking about?
We're not a good-looking species.
We're not. You have no pride, Frank.
I simply know my limitations.
I am classically chiseled.
Napa application engineered brakes can stop you 20 feet shorter than ordinary brakes. That's important. Because you can't always count on there being 20 extra feet of road when you need it. Napa, over 200,000 parts, and every one's important.
TNN Motorsports live coverage of the Duraloop Kmart 300 is being brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, official beer of NASCAR. Hey, race fans, this Bud's for you. And by Napa Auto Parts. Napa, we keep America running. Hey, for all of you gamers out there, there's a new champion of 4x4 off-road racing available now from ASC Games. It's called TNN Motorsports Hardcore Heat. It makes its debut on Sega Dreamcast as the gear-grinding, rough and rugged racing excitement comes to life on your screen on TNN Motorsports Hardcore Heat. It's available now. Buddy Baker, Dick Berggren, I'm Eli Gold. The pit crew today is Glenn Jarrett, Ralph Shaheen, Steve Burns. Look at that. That's for second, third, and fourth. Great scramble on the racetrack. And watch what happened moments ago as well.
Tony Stewart under Terry Labonte as they start out of the corner there. Side by side, Tony just rockets up that straightaway. He's got a great car. You talk about forward bite. That was a good four-inch.
And look who's right there, the 21, the Citgo machine for the Wood brothers. Elliott Sadler, a spectacular day for him from a 35th start. And think about it, the Wood brothers, you got to go back in the history books a bit. 1995, Morgan was behind the wheel, Morgan Shepherd. They finished second here. And in 9 Winston Cup races here, the Woods have 3 top 10 finishes. So they've done all right here, buddy.
Yeah, and I talked to Mike Bean today, and he said, we really have a great car. And then I talked to some of the Wood brothers themselves, and they said, go figure. We're normally messed up. Everybody else is pretty good. Here, we're good, and everybody else is pretty well messed up. And they were right. This car is running well. And I think if you'll take a good shot of that 21, in races to come, he's a rookie right now, but he will be a main factor in the years to come.
Plus, Steve Elliott's got a good bit of experience here from the NASCAR Busch Series. That's got to help.
Yeah, he does. And Eli, this team has been in the top 5 most of the day. Mike Beam, the crew chief, great performance for Elliott Sadler and your team.
We took 2 that last stop, kind of gambled there. We got behind the score. You know, we can come out here to the top 10 and have a good day. You know, the Sitco cars really ran well. Pit crew's done a good job. Everyone has. And, you know, we really needed this, so hopefully it'll be a good day.
There's a good scramble right there, albeit not for position. Remember, Dale Jarrett lost the lap earlier with the penalty. He's at 26th spot right now. The 21 of Elliott Sadler is in 5th position. Now, it's not the same, they tell me. Of course, I've not driven a race car, but they tell me that in a BGN car, you kind of let it roll through the corners. Here, you really have to drive it through the corners, but the track familiarity's got to mean something.
Well, Busch Grand National is about 15 miles an hour difference getting into the corner, so it changes the corner, the way you go into it. If you drive a car with 750 horsepower as deep as you do a Busch Grand National car, you wouldn't make the corner. So it is an adjustment. But these guys that have a lot of push experience, like Nemechek, he won here against Earnhardt, if you remember. Very thrilling race on the last lap here.
Now you see Tony Stewart, look at those numbers, fastest on the track. He is 3 7/10 seconds behind Joe Nemechek, Glenn, but if the stopwatch means anything, he's picking up a bit every lap.
Well, he is, Eli, and he's reporting that the car is just a little bit tight. We were watching Tony claw and fight his way through that traffic to get all the way back up to second. And when he finally cleared all the traffic, he radioed him and asked Greg Cipodelli. He said, okay, who are we racing now? And Greg told him, okay, you're in second place, about 3 seconds behind the 42 car. There was dead silence in the radio. Tony come back and said, you mean we're not in first? He didn't realize that Nemechek had gotten out ahead that far.
Well, so now he'll set sail. There are the brothers Labonte, Terry in the 5 car, riding with Bobby in the 18. That's 3rd and 4th.
Well, you remember now, Terry only took on 2 tires on that pit stop to get track position. So right now, he's not on the best tires. As you see him go outside there, as Bobby looks to the inside to pass.
Onto the main straightaway.
And somebody woke up Dale Jarrett, too. He's really flying back up here. If he can get back up and get back in the lead lap, I think he has the fastest car here today.
He certainly has got to be aware of the value of doing exactly that. He just doesn't want any poor finishes right now. Having that cushion he came in with 270 points over his closest competitor is a comfortable place to be. It is not, however, comfortable to be 1 lap down.
Ralph, if it's going to happen, it's got to happen soon. We're down to 49 to go.
And it does, Eli. As far as Bobby Labonte is concerned, he wanted to make an adjustment to the braking of the car. That's one adjustment the driver can do from inside the cockpit. What he had to do, however, was figure out which way to turn the knob. And that was a pretty tricky thing for the crew to tell him. It took them quite a few laps for him to figure out how to get rid of the rear brake to put more braking to the front of the car. Glenn Jarrett?
Okay, thanks, Ralph. Buddy, you guys were talking about how Dale Jarrett had really turned the wick up now, and he has just cleared Terry Labonte. Bobby Labonte is next in his sights, and he is one of the fastest cars, if not the fastest car. His problem is, obviously, he needs a caution flag, and you better believe, now I haven't even checked on this, but you better believe that those guys have talked to the 42, Joe Nemechek, who's leading the race, in case the caution comes out, pleading with Joe to make a deal to let him back in the lead lap, and they saying, hey, we'll repay the favor sometime down the road. I guarantee you there's deal making going on.
But you see the interval from the leader Nemechek back to where Jarrett and them were running, and then it's another lap on top of that. So you never know how these deals will play out. And the way this day's done, we could have another caution yet before it's all over.
You've been working hard all day, and now it's time to kick back and reach for a cool one. York Peppermint Patty. Get the sensation.
Pep Boys has your brand of motor oil at unbelievably low prices, like Pennzoil or Quaker State for only 99 cents a quart. Choose either Pennzoil or Quaker State for a limited time at just 99 cents.
Pep Boys. Cars like us.
People love us.
What would you have if you took the fastest growing sport in America today, added millions of fans of races all across the U.S., over 100 million more fans on radio and TV, and gave them a spectacular entertainment value, filled with rising superstars, incredibly fast racing, and competition that's as good as it gets? You'd have the NASCAR Busch Series. The NASCAR Busch Series. This is NASCAR.
September 26th on TNN.
Drivers, race teams, and race fans, the 99 Team Simpson Racing Catalog is now available. For more information, call 1-800-71-RACIN or visit the Simpson website at simpsonraceproducts.com and join Team Simpson today. Mack Trucks are furnished by Clement Chevy Mack Sales. For all your truck and tractor needs, call Clement at 1-800-369-MACK. Winnebago Industries, the official motorhome of TNN Motorsports. For information on Winnebago Industries products for the Winnebago Motorsports team, call 1-800-643-4892.
Welcome back, everybody. We're live in New Hampshire. That is 19th place on your screen. Good battle. Ward Burton in the 22, Jimmy Spencer in the 23. That is 19th and 20th position up for grabs. They work around the modified car of Kenny Wallace, who was involved in an accident earlier. That's fourth spot right there up for grabs. Terry Labonte's got it temporarily.
Jeff Burton wants it
permanently.
Has the preferred line as he goes down in the corner, so that wasn't much of a fight there.
Steve, Burton's up to fifth.
Yeah, but they may have a problem, Eli. One of the crew members just brought a backup battery from the car hauler. He has reportedly all the switches off inside the race car, and I'm sure they're just trying to, you can see the battery here in the pits. I'm sure they're just trying to ride it out as far as they can go. He's battled all the way up into fourth position with just 40 laps to go.
Inside NASCAR Select standing by to help out in that number 99 machine.
Best battery in the world won't get the job done if the charging system is not working.
You know, that's funny. Dale Jarrett this morning found a problem with their car, and they changed the entire electrical system all the way from up the front part of the car all the way to the rear, so they wouldn't have that problem. So, you know, they really check these things, but things can go wrong when you run racing because the distance they run in Western Cup.
Rusty lost his alternator last week at Richmond as well, so there seems to be something of an epidemic of these problems at the moment.
23 teams on the lead lap. Burton still riding in fourth. At the moment, no look at slowing down. That's 21st place now. Spencer and the man with whom we're riding, Mark Martin.
You know, it's amazing that Mark Martin's even out there right now. He got clobbered in a wreck about halfway through the race. Right rear corner of that car is torn all to pieces, but he is really fighting to stay there. Look at the right rear of this car as he goes through the corner.
He never gives up, though. I mean, he is just such a tough racer. Remember July here? Started in 37 and passed 31 cars to finish sixth. And here he is hobbling around in crutches. He's got a wrist in a cast. What a tough guy.
So Mark Martin moves up into 21st. Jimmy back into 22nd.
Jeremy Mayfield there as he starts down in the corner. Maybe he had some problems at the first part of the race also.
Yeah, he's 16 laps down. Jeremy is in 36th. Glenn, you got to be impressed with Mark Martin. Like the guys were saying, he just never gives up.
Oh, well, I'm always impressed with him, Eli. You know, I had a chance to talk with him in the garage area, and he was telling me he wouldn't complain. I had to ask a question about his back. He's got a lot of back pain. Those wrecks he had earlier in the year, and and he's going to have that surgery in the offseason. But Mark's got another problem. As he comes by the start-finish line right now, Joe Nemechek is only about 3 seconds behind him, maybe 4, to put him a lap down. That's the last thing that Mark Martin wants us to go a lap down, because whatever happens, that will allow Mike Skinner's coming into the pitch right now. They're going to the right side. He's got a problem. But if Martin goes a lap down, that puts him in the same position that DJ is in. And Dale Jarrett is not all that far behind him also. Mike Skinner come in now for a 4-tire change. They went to the right side. I thought maybe he had a tire going down. They were just going to do right side tires, but it's 4 tires all the way around. He is down and away.
That stop at lap 264. Meanwhile, Terry Labonte and Jeff Gordon, they battle for 5th and 6th as we work for the final 35 laps here at New Hampshire International Speedway. Next weekend, Dover Downs in Delaware. We'll be there with you, as will these two fellows be there. Jeff Gordon grabs the spot. Give him 5th ahead of Terry Labonte. But the leader is Joe Nemechek, only 1 8/10 seconds ahead of Tony Stewart. It's going to be a good finish. We're coming right back.
At Burger King, we're always trying to make have it your way better. Like this idea for a win your way college football game. Run back a kickoff and win great prizes. Then we thought, why not just scratch and win? This week, Colorado and Washington face off, and you could win $1 million, a Toyota RAV4, or the best tasting prize of all, a delicious Whopper. Burger King. When you have it your way, it just tastes better.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Amazing. That car never ages.
To help keep your car young, protect your engine with Havoline Formula 3 motor oil. Add more life to your car. Reel in $10 in free gear when you buy a case of Havoline Formula 3 motor oil. See stores for details.
In the racing business, the right hardware at the right time can make the difference between winning and losing.
Get the toolbox that rocks at True Value. It's just $24.95 when you spend $20 or more on your Visa card at participating True Value hardware stores.
Your True Value is the official hardware store of NASCAR, IROC, and homes everywhere.
If your replacement windshield isn't installed properly, you could have a slight leaking problem. That's why you should go to the pros. PPG ProStar certified technicians. Whether you need your windshield repaired or replaced, they're professionals who do the job right the first time. For PPG ProStar certified technicians, call 1-800-PPG-7011.
Welcome back, everybody. Glad you're with us. Final 30 laps here at New Hampshire. Hey, that reminds me, don't forget to tune in to Outdoor World every Saturday afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on TNN. Folks over at TNN Outdoors with Outdoor World, Saturdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Joe Nemechek, the race leader. This is his 180th NASCAR Winston Cup race. He's got 7 NASCAR Busch Series wins. Wouldn't it be something if he wins today?
It'd be 2 in a row for first-time winners, with Tony Stewart winning last week.
Last time that happened, 2 consecutive races won by a first-time winner. 1970. Pete Hamilton won at Daytona, and James Harvey Hilton won the next race at the old Richmond Fairgrounds Raceway.
You know, I knew that. I really, I knew that. I'll tell you something else. Tony Stewart is just chipping away at this lead right now that Nemechek has. He's down to about a 15-car length lead right now, Nemechek is, and Tony Stewart consistently is faster every lap now.
Ralph, does Jay Smith think they can hold him off?
Well, Tony Glover's the crew chief. He's up on the roof. Jay Smith's on top of the war wagon. Can you guys hold off Tony Stewart here, Jay?
Well, I don't know. Tony Stewart's awful strong, and Joe's doing an awful good job with Bell South and Chevrolet today, and I think that we can hold him off if you don't get too close to it. You never know. Longer to go.
Well, Joe's wife, Andrea, is here, Eli. She is always at the races, but there are two people missing here today. Joe's mom, Martha, and his father are not here as well. Now, they had to stay back in Florida, not because of the hurricane, but because of a wedding of a family friend. And, Eli, I know like you do, I'm sure Martha is destroying that house right now.
And for those of you there who are not watching the wedding, just stay here. The Reverend Baker, Bergman, and Gold will officiate
I
this one.
guarantee you. Knowing Martha, she's probably got a laptop sitting there watching this thing right now, because every lap that Joe Nemechek goes around the racetrack, when she's even close, she runs it with him.
One of the great ladies in this business.
Now, Tony Stewart is decidedly closing the gap here. 20 laps ago, it was 3.160 seconds between them. That last time around, it's 1.120 seconds. You can see it. They're both in the same screen. 25 laps to go.
Now, the one thing that Joe Nemechek has to do, you have to time your passes when you catch cars to get the most momentum you could possibly get. Right now, he's coming up on Jeremy Mayfield. He needs to pass him. Jeremy absolutely knows he's back there, but what he'll try to do is catch him going in the corner, set him up, and then have the spotters tell this guy, give him some room. We need to get away.
You know, if this goes green, in the next 12 minutes, we'll either have another first-time winner or a guy who didn't win till last week and would back it up with another win the very next weekend.
Boy, oh boy, I tell you, it's getting tighter and tighter. You can see the leaders there. The wives are starting to get a little excited here.
You tell him, Andrea.
Yep, Andrea says, let's get it done and head to the house. We're back with the finish from New Hampshire. Right after this, Martha, calm down. We're coming right back.
Introducing the first Suzuki ATV, available in your choice of manual or automatic transmission. The Quad Runner 500, an all-new Quad Master 500. The choice is yours. Buy a selected Quad Runner and get a super winch for just $49.95 and great financing.
Things not quite what they used to be? Well, head for fall car care days at participating retailers. Buy a case of Pennzoil with Pure Base for stop-and-go driving. Get over $60 back on a super selection of world-class car care products. There's something for every part of your car, inside and out, bumper to bumper, plus over $60 back. You'll be looking good, or at least your car will, during Pennzoil Fall Car Care Days.
It's back and badder than ever. TNN Roller Jam.
Will Zone Friday.
An all-new season of Team Warfare. Roller Jam. Friday at 9, 8 Central. Part of Thrill Zone Friday.
Will Zone Friday.
On TNN.
We're high-tech auto body. Our #1 goal is to make sure we take care of you. We're high-tech. You are the reason we're here doing what we do. We're high-tech.
Collision, repainting, and restoration.
We do it all in high-tech. We're high-tech auto body.
At Bud's Heating and Air Conditioning, it all started for us about 30 years ago. From the very beginning, it's been about dependability. From the installation of high-efficiency natural gas appliances for energy savings and year-round comfort to the most reliable and efficient service. So when your heating or cooling system needs attention, remember that at Bud's Heating and Air Conditioning, the most important thing to you has always been the most important thing to us, dependability.
Over-the-road transit for this broadcast provided by Ryder Transportation Services. Race leader Joe Nemechek got caught up behind the 2x2 racing of Phil Elliott and Mark Martin. They both finally pulled away, let the leaders go by, but Tony Stewart has caught Joe Nemechek for the lead.
Joe Nemechek right now coming off turn 4.
Oh, trouble. Elliott Sadler goes around running.
Everything we can right here. Everything we can.
What a finish we're going to have. And watch this race back. Joe Nemechek and Tony Stewart with Elliott Sadler going around lap 283. Heartbreaker for Sadler, running all day in the top 10. The spin off turn number 2. And Joe Nemechek is the race leader.
Elliott Sadler got back around straight and did not lose the lap, though. He will come around and then come in the pits and probably put 4 tires on.
And again, what the incident was Elliott Sadler right here. Let's watch.
Schrader gets into the left rear corner. Around goes Elliott Sadler. Watch him back up the racetrack here. Never making contact. Oh, that's close, but it just barely touched it with the back of the car.
It took the paint off that back bumper, I think.
Yeah. And here was the race back to the caution, won clearly by Joe Nemechek.
Yeah.
So we are under caution. Dale Jarrett did not get his lap back. He gave it a good run, but came up shy. 16 laps from the finish in New Hampshire. This is going to be good.
Every time you start your car, you're waging a war against friction. The battle lines are drawn. Now, how are you going to fight back? Duralube Advanced Engine Treatment protects your car's motor like nothing else on the market can. It's like a shield against engine-damaging friction. Win the war against friction and get the maximum protection for your car's engine with Duralube. Duralube, tomorrow's technology today.
Some people get nervous when that door goes up. Not me, but then I deliver to all the shops. Nervous people like crunchy food. Don't sell much nervous food here.
Goodwrench Good Time Savings means great deals, like lube, oil, and filter for only $19.99 or less. It's a good time to see GM Goodwrench Service Plus.
Good time savings? No wonder I don't sell any nervous food here.
There's something about a Wendy's classic double with cheese.
I'd have made the same choice.
It's hamburger blessed.
$10 for lunch? I heard of a guy got a brand new car for that.
Sounds like a Darrell Waltrip story.
Oh, I swear it's true. This guy was at the track. He sees this notice. His brand new hot rod. $10.
No, it's not a misprint. Stop by and see for yourself.
Turns out her husband met this little gal at the track, and he ran off to Tahiti with her. And he told his wife to sell the car and send him the money.
No.
Now at Kmart.
There's a lot more to working in AutoZone than looking up parts or ringing up sales. And it has to do with taking pride in taking care of customers. Like testing an old part before selling a new one. Or simply having what they need when they need it. In other words, it's about taking care of people who take care of cars. And that's what we do best at AutoZone.
Coming to the green to settle the Duralube Kmart 300. This caution when Elliott Sadler spun off the corner. Tightens things up. Joe Nemechek, Tony Stewart, Bobby Labonte, Jeff Ford, Rusty Wallace, all in position to win here in New Hampshire.
Boy, the greatest thing they got going is Mark Martin on the inside. He's a gentleman. You see him roll out and let the two leaders go by as they go down in the corner. Now it's just who has what.
open a little bit of ground between himself and Tony Stewart.
Car length and a half is breathing room enough. There's the Midas wall camera brought to you by Midas. Giving you some great shots here today. Nemechek by 2, now by 3, now by 4 car lengths. Glenn, Nemechek really pulling Tony off the corner.
Yes, he is. And we're gonna ask Greg Zipadelli. We've been hearing these guys talk about maybe a possible engine problem with the 20. Greg, is there an engine problem on your car?
About 15, 20 laps ago, we picked up a little bit of a skip vibration. I really don't know what it is. We're just going to go and take what we can get here.
Okay, you heard that. They don't know if they've got enough left to overtake Nemechek. How about it, Ralph?
Well, the story for Joe Nemechek, Glenn, was his tires were starting to go away on the front of the car, but that yellow is just what he needed. He was able to cool those tires down and now get that grip again.
But how about it? Just another caution that he needed. Nothing is flying yet. Now it's out. Jimmy Spencer spins. Turn 2, and they are going to throw the yellow with 10 to go.
Oh, man.
You talk about nail-biting time is here.
Look at it.
Andrea says, would you please run these laps and let's be done with it?
Let's finish this thing with my husband in first. Meanwhile, the Home Depot guys have a different idea as to how this should all go.
No question about it. Joe Nemechek was much quicker just then with cooler tires.
Now the track should be clean and green. We ought to be going back here to work very, very quickly. Remember, though, it'll be a single file restart among only the lead cars. Will be inside 10 laps, and around goes Spencer. At Chad Little's machine just behind him.
Just a little touch on the wall.
That's Jimmy right there. He gets a touch, looks like from Chad Little, just enough to turn him sideways a little bit.
Doesn't take much of anything.
In this case, truly just a little nudge. And there's Jimmy and the Team Winston entry. So we got to do it again. Pit stops for some. LePage is in, Hut Strickland's in, Dale Earnhardt will stop. Here's what Robert Presley saw. And there goes James towards the wall. Again, inside of the final 10 laps of a NASCAR Winston Cup race, it is a single file restart, and only the teams on the lead lap can start up front. Everybody else has to fall in behind. So that would mean that the 18 team will line up single file. They'll get the 1 to go signal this time. Joe Nemechek's wife, Andrea. They've been to victory lane before at this racetrack and elsewhere. 7 wins in the NASCAR Busch Series. The 1992 NASCAR Busch Series champion. But never has Joe Nemechek won in Winston Cup.
Eli, you have to wonder about Bobby Labonte just behind the 20 car there, Stewart. If he's running a little bit ragged right now, Bobby Labonte may get by him and make a run on Nemechek.
Ralph, anybody breathing down there?
Oh, nobody's breathing at all, Eli. Now, Joe's just radioed in and said he thinks he has a bad vibration, one of the front tires. The crew says, well, maybe you flat spotted it when you were trying to avoid some of those incidents. Just said, we'll fix it in victory lane. Steve?
Well, Ralph, following up on Jeff Burton, he's keeping his fingers crossed as well. As we reported, they pulled a backup battery out of the team truck, but they are registering some voltage. Jeff wanted to turn the rear end cooler back on, and Frankie Stoddard, as a true crew chief, said, leave it off and ride it out.
Take a look again at the single file restart. We'll see where everybody is aligned. Joe Nemechek. His first NASCAR Winston Cup start was here back in July of '93. Remember that day? Finished 36th. But he was happy to make that first Winston Cup start. Bobby Hamilton hanging in a good run for Johnny Benson in 7th spot. Super run for the Cheerios team. All right, here we go. 300 laps make up the distance.
Green, green, green.
Here comes Bobby Labonte on the inside of Tony Stewart as they head down into turn 1. Didn't quite make it.
Joe Gibbs' teammates right there, Stewart and Labonte.
Trouble in turn 1. Steve Park backwards.
Spins around, but he's still moving. I don't think that'll bring a caution out as they come down into turn 3.
Exactly. No yellow flag being displayed. If Nemechek wins, he'll be a first-time winner. If Tony Stewart wins following the win of last week, it'd be the first time since 1964 that a first-time winner won the very next race as well. Left side tire flat for LePage. Unscheduled stop for him. On the racetrack, though, down to the final 6 laps.
Nemechek looking good so far on this restart.
That was a great shot from Bobby Labonte's car as he comes off the corner there. You can see the shine on the racetrack there. Very slick coming out of the corner. These guys are being precise, but the hammer's down right now. This is not a dress rehearsal. They're going for it.
Joe Nemechek trying to get himself an early birthday present. He turns 36 on the 26th of this month. There's 5th spot swapping around. Schrader's grabbing the spot. Ward Burton comes through. He's on the lead lap, and he'll make the move, too, as Schrader went wide. Here comes Rick Mast in the 98 and Kenny Irwin in the 28.
Terry Labonte, bam, in the back of Schrader's car.
Bobby Hamilton in the 4 also goes by. Six-tenths of a second. Nemechek back to Stewart. Goes the quickest.
Man without a ride.
Labonte and Hut Strickland, they go around. Caution on the speedway. They're not going to be able to clean it up again in time. They're going to be coming around for the win this time. We're at lap 297. If Nemechek gets back first, he's going to have this one tucked away.
The racetrack is clear. If the cars up here that wreck stay where they're at, Nemechek knows he has to run back to the flag.
Here comes Nemechek. He comes back. He'll take the caution at 298. There'll not be time to get this one going. Nemechek. It'll be the white flag next time, and then they'll have no time to give them another lap. This one's done as long as Joe can bring it on back around to the finish in his first NASCAR Winston Cup win in his 180th start. And poor old Terry Labonte, is his day gone up in smoke or what?
Wowee, this has got to be a very special place. Joe Nemechek now has won in Busch Grand National and Winston Cup. All he has to do is keep running until the race is over.
Tony Stewart pulled up alongside him and gestured in the window.
They're coming only to the white flag, though. This is not yet over, though obviously, technically it is, but Joe will have to finish the advertised distance. Coming to the white flag, and here's the spin that caused things. You had Sadler 21, Hutch in that white and blue car, and Terry Labonte in the 5.
You can see that Elliott Sadler got in the back of Hut Strickland just a little bit. He made contact into the 5 car of Terry Labonte. That set it off.
Well, the last time 2 consecutive races were won by first-time winners, we mentioned it earlier. 1970, Pete Hamilton won Daytona, James Hilton won Richmond. Terry Labonte not at all pleased. He'll take the walk to the ambulance and the ride to the care center. But you can just imagine the yelling and screaming going on where Martha and Joe Nemechek are right now. Their son leading 72 laps en route to the victory here in New Hampshire.
You know, you can win, and win, but that first one you never forget.
Joe is the 11th winner of the year. The 9th Chevy win in 26 events. Joe Nemechek is a first-time winner in NASCAR Winston Cup racing. Ralph, how about it?
Well, I'm down here with Jay Smith. Tony Glover just said over the radio, Jay, that to Joe, I want you to do whatever you want to do to this race car. If you want to blow it up, smoke it up, whatever, enjoy this moment. What would you suggest?
I guess we'll just have to see what he does. Maybe do a little advertising for Bell South here. Probably spectacular, I'd say. The first one is always memorable for everybody.
Eli, I don't think he's anything else.
Everybody going by, waving, congratulating. Look at Dale Earnhardt waving.
I just run into it.
Yeah, he just probably bumped him also.
Attaboy, Joe.
That's the rite of passage when you get bumped on the victory lap by Dale Earnhardt. What all the Nemechek family has been through, Lord knows they've had their sorrows. Today, they have their joy.
Rock and roll! We love you! Rock and roll! We love you! Rock and roll! We love you!
To keep your car rocking, protect your engine with Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. Add more life to your car. Reel in $10 in free beer when you buy a case of Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. See stores for details.
Our family vacation started at Pep Boys when we met Larry.
Handsome guy.
Oh, yeah. Told us we could save on every size tire in stock. These were 4 for $99.
You really did see some sights.
And the 70,000-mile tires were 4 for $169.
Wow. So what was the highlight?
Probably the 80,000-mile Futura SEs. Motor Trend says they deliver impressive acceleration and performance. All sizes 4 for $199.
I know where I'm taking the kids this year.
Pep Boys. Cars like us.
People love us.
You have your weekend projects. We have ours.
When the male is in pursuit of the female, the slightest scent of unpleasantness may send the female running. Thus, Right Guard Clear Gel or Clear Stick. Powerful protection from odor and wetness that glides on clear. Right Guard. Anything less would be uncivilized.
We've heard your complaints about changing your oil filter, trying to grip that slippery filter. That's why Fram, America's #1 filter, now has Sure Grip, a rough texture top for easy gripping and installing.
It makes changing your oil filter a lot easier.
TNN Motorsports live coverage of the Duralube Kmart 300 has been brought to you by Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. Add more life to your car. Welcome back, everybody. If you're new to the sport, you know that Nemechek family losing a son in this sport. But today, another son winning one for his departed brother and for a family that's been so much a part of this business. Joe Nemechek in Victory Lane with the family. Let's go down there and hear from him.
And there's a great celebration down here. First thing I want to say is way to go.
I tell you what, this is unbelievable, man. I got to thank God. He was watching over me. I got to thank my brother. We miss him a lot. He was watching over me. That Polish victory lap was for him. And this whole Bell South Chevrolet team, we got the car going where it needed to be yesterday. And it was awesome. I told these guys, they give me something I can go with, and we'll win this race. And Tony Glover, Jay Smith, all these guys, good pit stops, good strategy, and that's what made it work.
We want to know, we've been talking about this for the last several laps, and your mom, we didn't see her, I don't guess she's here, but how do you think she is going now?
Oh, I wish Mom and Dad were here. They're back in North Carolina, and actually I think they're in Michigan with all my relatives. So hello, Mom and Dad, we miss you. Glover, you're #1, man. It's pretty. It's a tough deal when you're looking for a job, too, so I guess this will help some.
I would imagine that it would help. I got one more quick question, and that is, what did you guys do to the car on that last stop that made it so fast when you pulled away?
2 tires. The first time we did 2 tires, the car was awesome, and then the next stop, we kind of got out of sequence, but the 4 tires, I got really tight, and the next stop, I said, adjust the air, put 2 on it, and we'll go. And sure enough, that thing was a rocket ship.
Boy, it was going. I tell you what, go celebrate. You have deserved it. Steve?
Thanks, Glenn. Tony Stewart has just climbed out of the car, accepted congratulations from Joe Gibbs. Well, first last week, second this week. Could you have gotten Joe if it had stayed green?
I don't know. I mean, we had the motor lay down with 25 to get like we broke a valve spring or something, but you know, if it had went green, we might have had a shot at him because it seemed like the longer the run went, the more he fell off and the better we got. But you know, once those yellows came out, you know, he was really good off the yellows. So you know, what better guy to lose to? I mean, Joe deserved this when he ran his rear end off all day.
All right, 2 first-time winners back-to-back.
A great story and the future of NASCAR, no problem. A lot of great, talented youth out there showing it the last couple of races. All right, let's see where your favorite came in. Some good names. Good run for Rick Mast. Good run for Kenny Irwin today, fellas.
And Johnny Benson as well, finishing in 7th spot. Rick Mast in 9th.
And talking about Jeff Gordon, never giving up, finishing very, very well today in 5th.
With a beat-up car.
Everybody had a beat-up car. Even the race winner had a beat-up car.
We've had 2 good ones in a row here at New Hampshire.
We really have.
Real good
It's been
races.
A good season of racing up here at the Bears racetrack. There you see some of the fellas. Wonder where Kyle would have finished had he not had the problems, because he was a top 3 car when he was running.
Eli, I got to tell you, I think he would have been up there racing these guys for the win. He had a great car today. Kyle Petty had it all together today. It was good to see.
And there you see those who had problems early here at New Hampshire. Well, we had action from the get-go, beginning right there at lap number 4. There you see the NASCAR Winston Cup points. Only 16 markers were lost today by Dale Jarrett. The change, though, coming with Bobby Labonte moving around Mark Martin to grab 2nd spot. Guys, time to pack the bags and head to Dover Downs. That's where we are next weekend. It's going to be good there as well. I like that racetrack.
So do I. White Lightning, they call it. You'll see why when you join us next week on TNN.
A day filled with cautions. There's our schedule for next weekend, the NASCAR Busch Series and the MBNA Gold 200. Then on Sunday, the Winston Cup teams. 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time from the Monster Mile, Dover Downs International Speedway. So Joe Nemechek is a first-time winner in NASCAR Winston Cup. Now he sets his sights on finding a new riding and driving home for the year 2000. A big thank you to Dr. Dick Bergman and Buddy Baker. The guys on pit road into the garage doing a great job today. Glenn Jarrett, Ralph Shaheen, Steve Burns. Andrea, your hubby did good. Celebrate. I'm Eli Gold. For all of us at TNN Motorsports, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week at Dover. Joe Nemechek wins in New Hampshire.
TNN, America's country home, is a service of CBS Cable.
Hey, Mark, come over here and check the bleeder on the left rear. This thing was so tight I couldn't turn when I entered corner. Felt like the right front shock wasn't even on.
The Channel Lock Fall Classic, Saturday on TNN.
All new Thursday nights, TNN Sofa Cinema.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying the movie.
Comedian Bill Engvall takes his big comfy sofa on the road.
Tonight, we're here in the very hip Times Square in New York City.
The movie, Dead Man's Revenge with bad guy Bruce Dern.
Wow, what a stretch.
I want you to take this man's life right here.
We're saving you a seat for the TNN Sofa Cinema.
Here, I made a little popcorn. Hope you like butter.
Dead Man's Revenge premieres September 30th on TNN.
Get into the zone. Kick Action Friday. Thrill Zone Friday. Turning up the heat. Thrill Zone Friday. So real you can feel it. Thrill Zone Friday. War on wheels. Thrill Zone Friday. Chewing up the competition. Thrill Zone Friday. Adrenaline pumping, bone crunching. Thrill Zone Friday. Action that never stops. The battle you can't miss. Thrill Zone Friday on TNN.
Inside the engine of a NASCAR Winston Cup racer is a high-rev laboratory where any gain in performance can potentially translate into victory come race day.
Today on NASCAR Garage, we'll meet a member of the Morgan McClure laboratory team. This is a fellow whose tools include
algebra, calculus, research pie, and Chevrolet.
Plus, when he won his first Winston Cup championship, he was the youngest to ever accomplish such a feat. We'll meet the man in just a bit. He's still going strong in the sport today.
So stay right there. It's NASCAR Garage. It was a 20-year-old crew chief and a 29-year-old driver that had a sum total of 1 year big league racing experience between them. So all they did was go out and win the 1980 NASCAR Winston Cup Championship.
When Doug Richard helped win that championship with driver Dale Earnhardt, it was the beginning of a great career that is still going strong.
I guess I got started like most kids, you know, get started in racing, and that's working in your neighborhood garage. Ken Neighbors in California, right down the street from where I lived at, he had the interest in the figure 8 racing and stuff like that, so I went down there and he handed me a torch one day. And I guess ever since then, it's like, wow, I had racing in my blood.
Doug Richards' early start in racing paid off fast. As a crew chief at age 19, he helped Dale Earnhardt win his first NASCAR Winston Cup championship, becoming the youngest championship crew chief in the history of Winston Cup.
Well, 79 Rookie of the Year with Dale, 1980 to his championship with Dale. Then we parted ways with that Rod Osterlund team, and then we moved up to Richard Childress' shop. That's when Richard Childress quit his driving career and went into being a car owner. I was up there for 6 months, and that's what the term was. Well, Earnhardt went a different way, and then I went to juniors. So I was at juniors as co-crew chief with Mike Hill and Jeff Hammond. Worked with Darrell Waltrip there. We won the championship there with him. Won a lot of races. I was fortunate enough to go ahead and get involved with the second team at the time with Warner Hodgson. That's when Junior Johnson went to a 2-car operation. I split, went over to the second team, and got that up and running. Well, you leave there and so on and so forth. But, you know, worked with Darrell again on his own team. You know, went to working on the trucks. I went to work back with Earnhardt on his truck team. Several different things, but the biggest thing that led me up to where I'm at right now was just the relationship that I had with Kenny Irwin, working with him in the truck series. Winston Cup nowadays is very important to get the driver-crew chief relationship so that we can relate to each other and know what each other's thinking and try to make those educated guesses when it's time to. Being involved with Robert, Texaco Havlin, and all the sponsors involved, yeah, you know, I feel pressured to go perform for the sponsors. That's the main name of the game. The competition level right now in the 90s versus the 80s is so much closer. You've got 30 cars within 0.2 of a second on most places we go, and that is tough. So that you're talking one little burp of the throttle, one little squeeze too much of the brake, you can go from hero to zero. And you got to accept those facts. Yes, it's tough, but you learn from your mistakes. You try to apply them the next week and move forward. There should be no reason why we can't get this organization here and get them together as a group. And if we're all pulling the same direction, there's no reason why we can't make races and win races. That's our goal this year.
I try to just really deal with the crew chiefs out here in this open type shop where, you know, whatever I can do for them or help them or what they need, this type of thing. So I try to be available, you know, all day long.
Well, coming into Robert Chase Racing, I'm somewhat of a student, but there's still some procedures that you follow week in and week out, and I'm learning how their procedures work. As we go along, we're going to probably try to change things here and there just to make it easier. A smooth operating system is a more efficient system, and that's kind of what I'm looking towards. I try to apply some of the things that, you know, I've dealt with through the years, and they're telling me what they've dealt with through the years. So it's learning, I think, on both sides.
Stay right there. Coming up, our performance report with Winston Cup director Gary Nelson. If you have questions or comments, write us at NASCAR Garage, care of TNN Viewer Services, 2806 Opryland Drive, Nashville, Tennessee, 37214. And be sure to visit NASCAR Garage online at NASCAR.com.
For full race reports, the latest news, statistics, photos, and much more, nothing beats NASCAR Winston Cup Scene, the nation's largest auto racing weekly. Subscribe today at 1-800-883-7323.
Picture this, a life without worry, where problems are quickly solved. Picture a future that's financially secure for you and the ones you love. Picture Nationwide, changing to meet your needs with insurance products to protect what you hold dear and financial services that help you prepare for your future. If you can picture it, Nationwide can too.
If you've suffered a loss from Hurricane Floyd, call the Nationwide Disaster Response Team at 1-800-421-3535.
In the heart of NASCAR country, where you've got to have every edge to win, we ask the experts who keep race cars running how they give their personal cars the edge.
Around here, it's Borg Warner brand, like select spark plug wires, and caps and rotors, fuel pumps, and clutch kits.
Borg Warner brand engine management parts with the NASCAR edge, because they're built to last.
Race you home. You're on. Hey, where do you live?
I knew I was in for the fight of my life, but I was ready.
When my husband and his friends start exchanging fish stories, it's the phone bill that can turn into a whopper.
I fought this monster for hours. First I had the upper hand, then he took control.
That's why we always dial 10-10-321. With 10-10-321, calls over 10 minutes are just 8 cents a minute, day or night. And at 8 cents a minute, he can tell all the stories he wants.
I'll tell you, it was like a whale.
Yeah?
You should have seen it.
Well, let me tell you about my trip.
Dial 10-10-321 and talk as long as you want, whenever you want.
If you love performance, you're gonna love this. The legendary Split-Fire spark plugs at the lowest price ever, only $2.99. And Split-Fire Triple Platinum spark plugs, just $4.99. Hey, what are you waiting for? Split-Fire, because performance is everything.
In our family, we don't hit the track or the streets without Goodyear Gatorback belts.
And who taught you that?
Grandpa, of course.
Grandpa. Get Goodyear Gatorback, the officially licensed belt of NASCAR.
In a moment, an up-close look at one of NASCAR's regional touring series.
But first, here's Chris and Winston Cup Director Gary Nelson with today's performance report.
As you might expect, every mechanical component on a NASCAR Winston Cup race machine is a little bit beefier than its passenger car counterpart. With us is Gary Nelson, Winston Cup Director, and I think, Gary, when it comes to brakes, that's especially true.
Well, extra heavy duty really describes brakes on a Winston Cup car. If you look at the size of this brake caliper, brake rotor, you can see the steel-braided brake lines heading up to the master cylinder, and this car has 2 master cylinders, one for the front brakes and one for the rear brakes.
Okay, let's go over to the table after we button this up and take a close look at some of those components. This is Sean Lyons, Senior Product Manager at Prestone. And Sean, whether it's in a race car or a street car, the brake system has to have fluid in it to work. What does your product do in terms of its job?
We've got 2 different brake fluids, a .3 and a .4 brake fluid. The .3 gets you a boiling point temperature of about 400. The .4 gives you a boiling point temperature of 450 degrees. That's one way that it does it. And the boiling point is a very important issue. The second way is it fights sludge in your system. The additives that the brake fluid has in it will help fight that sludge so that your brake fluid is not messed up, your whole system. And the third way is viscosity-wise. During a cold morning when you get in your car, you want your system to brake accurately and respond accurately to when you step on the brakes.
You want to pedal when you ask for it.
You betcha.
Okay. Now, Gary, when we go to the racetrack, boiling is the issue.
Well, boiling brake fluid on a Winston Cup car is a bad thing. When that brake fluid boils, the pedal goes right to the floor. And so what Winston Cup crew chiefs do is everything they can to prevent the brake fluid from boiling.
Okay, now this is a high dot number. This is .4, and racers always use a high number. It has a boiling point of 450 degrees dry. But on the back it says minimum wet boiling point 311. So realistically, you've got a range there. How would you handle that?
Well, if you think about it, if we're racing in the Sahara Desert, we could use that dry boiling point, the higher number. But just opening the can or the container on a humid day gets a little bit of moisture into that container, and that lowers that boiling point. So the racers always assume the wet boiling point.
Okay, and the key to the whole thing is getting it from here to here in a hurry.
That's right. The master cylinder, like this one off a production car, says right on it, use only brake fluid from a sealed container. So you'll pop this cap off, pop the cap off the container, pour it in quick, seal it back up, seal your container up right away to avoid getting that humidity or that moisture into the brake fluid.
Okay, Sean, from a street car perspective, how often would you change this?
This is a maintenance chemical, so we'd recommend you look at it as regularly as you can. But every 2 years is what we recommend you flush and you drain it out and you fill it back up.
How about a racer?
Racers, they get that brake fluid out after every race. Get fresh brake fluid in there and always monitor the maintenance of it. Make sure that those containers are sealed. Make sure that that cap is on and keep it clean.
To purge it as much as possible.
That's right.
Okay, now, where's the toughest track for boiling?
Martinsville, without a doubt. Yeah. We have more brake problems at Martinsville because you're braking for maybe a third of the lap. When you think about it, it's a half mile, but a third of that half mile.
I'm from Boise, Idaho. I drive the number 30 car in the Ray Bestis Brakes Northwest Series. I've been in it 2 years. This will be my second year. We ran for Rookie of the Year last year and got runner-up. This year we plan on having a very successful year, hopefully running for a championship. We started out in street stocks. We moved to the super stock class, and then we moved up to race with NASCAR. This is our second year with NASCAR. The competition is a lot steeper. The expenses are a little more, but the level of fun is a lot higher. K&L Excavation owns the car. I buy the tires and fuel and pit passes. We go racing together. Keep it a family sport, competitive, fun competition level. Anybody can come out of their local ranks and jump into this series and go and race with us. This is my wife, Linda. She helps us in the pit. This is Marvin Quinzer. He's on the pit crew. This is a 358 Chevrolet engine, 9.5 to 1 compression. It's built by Dennis Wartz out of Kuna, Idaho. It has airflow research heads on it. It turns approximately 500 horsepower, and it'll go around 200 miles per hour depending on the gears that are in the rear end of the time. We run bias ply tires versus the radial tires. They're a lot more forgiving. We run aftermarket front steering components. We run coil-over shocks and springs on all four corners. My goal in this series is to be able to win a championship. This series is fun for us because it's a family-oriented series. We can bring our wives and our kids. My two oldest daughters, they score for me. My wife is in the pits and helps us. My youngest and her grandmother is in the stands. It's a very family-oriented sport. We have facilities at the tracks. We have swing sets the kids can play on. A lot of the kids come down after the races and the drivers sign autographs and give away pictures. It's a fun place to be. Come on out on Saturday nights and watch us race.
Coming up, NASCAR officials show us how duplicates of their templates and tools are used by the race teams.
And we'll talk with Morgan McClure valve specialist Alan Potter. Precision, precision, precision. Stay with us.
Rock and roll! We love you! Rock and roll! We love you! Rock and roll! We love you!
To keep your car rocking, protect your engine with Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. Add more life to your car. Reel in $10 in free beer when you buy a case of Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. See stores for details.
NASCAR driver Jeff Burton goes head-to-head with everyday driver Eileen.
My car has a 750 horsepower high compression engine.
My car has an engine.
I can cruise all afternoon at 180 miles per hour.
I'll stick to 55, thanks.
I start my engine with a powerful Exide NASCAR Select battery.
Me too. Thanks.
The Exide NASCAR Select battery. It's not just for race cars. Bosch Platinum Plus 4. Four electrodes. Pure platinum. Take your engine to a higher power. Bosch Platinum Plus 4.
Yeah, Blanchard's car is handling great.
Incredible.
The right chassis parts make any car feel high performance. So choose Moog, driving NASCAR champions to victory. Moog chassis parts, another great part of Federal Mogul.
I can't stay here another minute.
Not what you need to hear. Then Super 8's where you need to stay. As clean as can be, 1,800 times over. Clean, friendly Super 8. All the room you want.
NASCAR officials are sticklers for detail. The best way for teams to ensure their car passes muster with the officials is to police themselves with the same tools the inspectors do.
NASCAR inspections are precise and rigorous, and of course they're based on the rule book. In order to make sure that a Winston Cup racer falls within the letter of the rules, NASCAR inspectors do have to have a special set of tools and measuring devices. And Brian, that's especially true when you get down underneath the hood.
That's right, Chris. When NASCAR comes up with an area that they want to regulate, we'll have a set of templates or gauges built that we'll use to ensure that we can inspect that area to the rule book. And a lot of it does entail the engine. Over at your table, we have some examples. Each one of these gauges has a certain rule in mind. Like this one here is a gauge that we use to inspect the carburetor. This end here inspects the diameter of the venturis, and this end here inspects the diameter of the throttle plate. Basically, it's just a go, no-go gauge. As long as this gauge does not slide down inside the venturis, this carburetor passes.
And every team will have an exact duplicate of that tool.
Right. When we come up with a device or a gauge, the team will call us or come up to us and say, hey, who built this and what are the specifications? And that way they can ensure the repeatability from their shop to the racetrack.
Same with these, right?
Right. These here are go, no-go gauges that we use to regulate the manifolds. This one here regulates the opening of the manifold that we use on a lot of the open manifolds. And this one here is a go, no-go gauge that we use to regulate the opening of the restrictor plate manifolds. It also regulates the plenum floor and the depth of the plenum.
There are 6 approved manifolds in Winston Cup. Each of these will measure one of those.
Right. We've built these templates off to ensure that the plenum floor has not been altered in the casting that was submitted by the manufacturers. And each team will have a set of these. Back here in the back, Gene and Gary are using a gauge to inspect the angle of the spoiler.
Now, as I understand it, the green from Gene means the quarter panel's the right height, Gary. Now what happens?
Well, now we hang the weight, and it's 18 pounds, and all it does is ensure that it maintains the minimum degrees on the spoiler.
Okay.
Let's go do the 30 car.
Now, Brian, what does the weight give us?
Well, Chris, what the weight does is the weight simulates the amount of force that the wind puts on the spoiler at Daytona and Talladega.
And if it doesn't hold up, you can brace it and so on. But the question I have, is this another example of the kind of tool a team has now because you have it?
Yes, it is. The teams have an identical copy to this, and when we go to Daytona and Talladega, they'll bring it, and when they come through for the morning inspection, they'll bring theirs along to calibrate it to ours to ensure that their numbers are the same numbers as ours.
And once it matches, they're good for the weekend.
Good for the weekend. Time to go racing.
Configuration, but basically that would be it.
We're at Morgan McClure Motorsports in Abington, Virginia. Now, that number 4 Kodak machine back there is about to go on the transporter on its way to the racetrack. We're with Alan Potter, who does the valves in the engine room here, and you've been part of some very important victories with this team, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I was here for the first victory in Bristol with Ernie Irvin. Followed that, he ultimately won. He was the first driver to win all 4 restrictor plate races. Followed by, when Sterling Marlin came, he was the second driver to win all 4 restrictor plate races.
And you did the valves on all those race engines?
On all of them.
Let's go over here and see how you do your valves.
Well, Chris, this is how they come to me right out of the box from either Manley or Dale West. We use both.
Okay, now what's the first step when you pull a brand new valve out of its carton?
Well, the first thing that I do is check the head size, the overall length, and the back angle to make sure that this is really what I need to work with. Then after that, the next point in grouping the valves is to check the stem size and make sure that
they're all close. We try to group them to the same size stems in any given box.
Okay, so this group of 8 might not stay together through its whole life.
That's true. It'll probably stay with the same group, but not necessarily in the same box.
Okay, now this one has just come out of a box. This one has been prepared and is ready to go into a race engine. What have you done from here to here?
Okay. After we've got them grouped, the next thing is take the stem, tape up the stem to protect it. We swirl polish this to try to eliminate any stress risers.
Right.
Then we glass bead it to get a completely generic finish. Then we grind the seat and the back cuts on there to the specification that they want for a particular engine.
Okay, and then
notice like this, there's no back cut on it. I have to grind and set this.
Okay, and that's ready to go at that
and then,
point.
When all is said and done, then we dish them out to lighten them, and then they're ready to go.
Okay, now what's the objective? What are you shooting for when you prepare your valves?
Well, the first thing is durability.
Got to go 500 miles.
Got to make them live.
Okay, second?
The next thing is make power.
Make power. Going 500 miles in 6 hours is not going to help you.
That's fact.
Okay, anything else?
Well, then you've got to have repeatability, because if that works, you've got to be able to do it again.
And that's where record keeping and notebooks come into play.
Exactly. So we can know what worked.
Okay. In, say, the last 5 years, how many valves have you taken care of?
Well, in the last 5 years, I've been averaging about 115 sets a year and 16 valves for each one. So you can do the math on that.
Well, I'll pretend I'm a human computer, and I'll tell you it comes out to about 9,200. That's a lot.
Now, Chris, I'm curious, how much can you actually manipulate the valve?
Well, quite a bit in terms of the back cut. Of course, it takes a lot of preparation for each individual valve, but he grinds that back cut, which is where the seat is. It's got to match the engine. If the valve doesn't close, the engine is flat no good. But obviously, he does know his business. The restrictor plate race victories tell us that.
I would imagine that this job requires a lot of patience because it's so meticulous.
It is very precise and very meticulous and repetitive, and that's hard to keep your concentration, but he's gotten very good at it over the years, and his training started really early from a mechanical standpoint. I understand when he was about 3 years old, he took his tricycle apart.
Hey, start him young.
You bet.
More to come here on NASCAR Garage. Stay with us.
If you have questions or comments, write us at NASCAR Garage, care of TNN Viewer Services, 2806 Opryland Drive, Nashville, Tennessee, 37214. And be sure to visit NASCAR Garage online at NASCAR.com.
For full race reports, the latest news, statistics, photos, and much more, nothing beats NASCAR Winston Cup Scene, the nation's largest auto racing weekly. Subscribe today at 1-800-883-7323.
In the heart of NASCAR country, where you've got to have every edge to win, we ask the experts who keep race cars running how they give their personal cars the edge.
Around here, it's Borg Warner brand, like select spark plug wires, and caps and rotors,
fuel pumps,
and clutch kits.
Borg Warner brand engine management parts with the NASCAR edge, because they're built to last.
Race you home. You're on.
Hey, where do you live?
If you think all ATVs are created equal, you've never ridden a Yamaha. The new Kodiak 400 Automatic and Big Bear 400 from Yamaha. Because out here, bears rule. Now, for a limited time, get low monthly payments on every Yamaha ATV and a great deal on a winch plower generator with select models.
NASCAR driver Jeff Burton goes head-to-head with everyday driver Eileen.
My car has a 750 horsepower high compression engine.
My car has an engine.
I can cruise all afternoon at 180 miles per hour.
I'll stick to 55, thanks.
I start my engine with a powerful Exide NASCAR Select battery.
Me too. Thanks.
The Exide NASCAR Select battery. It's not just for race cars.
If you like your music with attitude, you're going to love Hank Williams Jr.'s brand new album, Stormy. It's rowdy, it's fun, it's classic vociferous, and it's available Tuesday. Stormy from Hank Williams Jr.
Welcome back. Chris, going back to your time with the inspectors, you know, there's not a spot on those race cars that they don't check. But the teams know that, and it's all mapped out in the rule book, so there's really no reason that if you follow the book, you shouldn't pass inspection.
Especially if you have the right tools. Now, the fact is you can't go to the inspectors and say, hey, let me borrow your templates for a half an hour or so. I want to check my car. They won't do that. But you can, as a team, purchase duplicates. You can get the same templates from the same manufacturer off the same die. So, with that in mind, there is really no real reason anybody should fail inspection, but occasionally, of course, it does occur.
The teams will say they're looking for that edge. That'll do it for this edition of NASCAR Garage. We'll see you next time.
TNN, America's Country Home, is a service of CBS Cable. You're watching TNN, America's Country Home.
Okay, Bobby, what do you want for dinner?
I want pizza. No, wait. I want chicken. No, I want broccoli.
You want broccoli.
No, I want cherry cobbler.
Now at Golden Corral, your kids can have just about anything they can imagine for just $2.99.
I want mashed potatoes.
Really?
With gummy bears.
Even if it is a little odd.
Today on Trucks, everybody wants more horsepower. So we'll take you step by step through the pursuit of 450 horses as we build up a 383 stroker. After that, we'll take you for a rare ride down memory lane in a 1946 Hudson pickup. Then it's back to the shop to finish up our 3-week series on Paint Tech. That's all today on Trucks.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for being with us for today's show. You know, the history of the do-it-yourselfer was born from the ever-increasing need for speed and performance. Whether you're running down the strip or blazing a trail off-road, everybody wants more power.
The problem is there's so many ways to build an engine. You can go for high horsepower or you can go for high torque. Concentrate on the bottom end or the top end. So the first thing you need to decide is what your application is going to be. And whether it's going to be used off-road or on the street, what kind of transmission you're going to use, and of course the real biggie, how much money you're going to spend.
Yeah, you know what they say, you can go as fast as your checkbook will let you. Now the goal for our rebuild is to have about 450 horse on pumped gas that we can drive every day without spending a whole lot more than $3 grand. So we're going to take you through the buildup of a 383 stroker, throwing in some high-budget screamer tips and some low-budget beater tips while we're at it.
Now, we got the short block for our 383 from Groom's Engines in Nashville, Tennessee for about $1,300 bucks. Now, they start with a seasoned 4-bolt main block, then they clean it, magnaflux it, and align hone it so the crank and bearings are where they need to be. Then they drop in a brand new 400 crank and standard 5.7 rods.
Up on top, the block is square decked to give you a good seal for your head gaskets. That ensures consistent pressure ratio and balanced power from cylinder to cylinder. The cylinders have also been diamond honed and cleaned
The reason this is important is because dirty bores not only tear up rings, but they can also be a major factor in premature bearing failure.
Now, one of the biggest mistakes that people make when building an engine is they spend all their money on visual go-fast goodies like intakes, carburetors, and fancy valve covers. Now, granted, those are important, but you've got to have a good set of pistons and rings. So we had grooms install these Ross racing pistons and these total seal gapless rings. Now, these pistons are forged 40-over flat tops that give you all the benefits of Ross's extensive racing history without putting you entirely in the poorhouse. Now, just by putting in these gapless rings can grab you about 20 more horsepower. And that's possible because of this unique two-piece second ring that features a slant gap. These two rings work together to virtually eliminate any kind of blow-by or cylinder leak down.
While Stace was filling you in on the pistons and rings, I went ahead and bolted on the oil pump. Now, a common misconception is that you need a high-volume pump for any kind of performance application. Problem is, unless you're running a larger capacity pan, a high-volume pump can run it bone dry. Bottom line, a stock pump is plenty for a hot street motor. Also keep in mind, if you're going to reuse an old pump, replace the nylon sleeve for the drive shaft.
Now we come to a potential area of major screw-ups, and that's picking the wrong camshaft. We're going to go with Edelbrock's Performer RPM because it's designed to work with their heads and intake, and it'll give us the lift and duration that we're after. Now remember, a motor that makes its power at 6,000 RPM will take a much different cam than one that will make power, say, at 4,500. Bottom line is, bigger cam does not necessarily mean more performance. Do your research. Now, when you insert the cam, make sure that you generously coat it with the supplied cam lube and then slowly slide it in, making sure you don't nick any of the bearing surfaces.
A lot of you guys are probably thinking $1,300 is a lot of money to spend for a short block. But when you consider you can drop as much as $1,000 on the machine work alone, then still have to buy all the parts and assemble it, it's not hard to figure out. It really is the best way to go. Now that we have the camshaft in place, it's time to install the timing chain. Before you can get the chain on, you need to make sure your first cylinder is at top dead center. Then you can slide your crank sprocket on, and the timing mark should point straight up. We're using the 0 for a standard straight-up timing. Now you can set the cam sprocket in place and line up your timing marks. Once they're lined up, pop off the sprocket and put on the chain. Make sure to use Loctite when you bolt everything down.
Now, without a doubt, the key to any kind of real performance is a good set of heads. So if you're going to spend some money, this is where to do it. Now, these aluminum Edelbrock heads feature the big 202 intake valves, the 160 exhaust valves that have the undercut stems for better flow. Now, these are fully dressed with springs and retainers, as well as screw-in studs and guide plates, and we'll talk about those later on. You ready for these?
Ready.
Now, it's important when you bolt the heads on that you follow the torque sequence in 30-pound increments, starting in the center and moving outward in a cross pattern.
Well, Project 383 Stroker's starting to look like a motor. After the break, we'll continue our quest for 450 horse on pumped gas.
Later on Trucks, we'll take you for a ride in a pickup that most people don't even know existed. But before we do, we'll finish up our pursuit of 450 horses on pumped gas as Project 383 Stroker continues.
I knew I was in for the fight of my life, but I was ready.
When my husband and his friends start exchanging fish stories, it's the phone bill that can turn into a whopper.
I fought this monster for hours. First I had the upper hand, then he took control.
That's why we always dial 10-10-321. With 10-10-321, calls over 10 minutes are just 8 cents a minute, day or night. And at 8 cents a minute, he can tell all the stories he wants.
I'll tell you, it was like a whale.
Yeah?
You should have seen it.
Well, let me tell you about my trip. Dial 10-10-321 and talk as long as you want whenever you...
Peter from the Blank Road Brewery. We wanted to thank the Bunchiest for drinking our beers. The glorious, never-watered-down tasting nectar we call Ice House. And we spend 80 hours a week here. But for us, it's a labor of love. It's a gift. It's a craft. It's an art.
Like macrame.
So, anyways, Thanks for drinking our beers. Enjoy. What can we say? Out here, our world is beer.
Grueling, demanding, unforgiving. It doesn't get much tougher than the world of outlaws. It's all out. These machines take a beating. That's why these top drivers rely on energy release.
I use energy release in all my vehicles, my personal ones, my racing ones, and my toys. Energy release is the only additive that you can put in your entire vehicle. We use it in the rear end, power steering, we use it in the motor. Energy release helps us to finish races and run up front. Energy release on the dynos outperformed anything we've ever used. Once we put ER in, we have not seen any pitting of any ring gears, or the gears do not look like they've ever been used. I don't know how they made it or how they come up with it. Somebody did their homework. I use this in my race car, and if this stuff does wonders in a race car, what's it going to do in your street car? I'm amazed. I really am. I never would have believed it until I tried it myself. Energy release. Don't mess around. Just get the real stuff.
To order, call 1-800-927-9922. Call now.
Welcome back to the shop. If you're just tuning in, we've already put a cam and headers on our short block, and now we're ready to button up the bottom end. But before we do, we need to make sure everything's coated real good in oil. Then we can put on this polished aluminum pan from Mr. Gasket that not only looks cool, but is going to help our oil run cooler as well.
For rocker arms, we're going to use Airson roller rockers for a couple of reasons. First of all, with a 1.6 ratio, they'll really make the cam come alive. Also, because of their roller-type design, they greatly reduce friction and heat in the valve train. All this adds up to about 20 more horsepower.
Of course, before Stace can put the rockers on, I need to install the lifters. First thing you need to do is lube them up real good, then you can just drop them right into the bore. Now, Edelbrock says you shouldn't pump their lifters with oil before you install them, or you could bend the push rods the first time you put fire to the motor. Believe me, you definitely don't want that.
You about done with those push rods, Mel?
Ready to go.
All right. Now it's time for the rocker arms. But before we put them on, I want to explain the reasoning behind screw-in studs and guide plates. Now, a high-lift cam and stiffer springs can actually pull out a stock pressed-in stud. A screw-in stud will prevent that. The guide plate, that keeps the push rod from slopping around at high RPM. With the rocker in place and the #1 cylinder at top dead center, slowly turn the nut until you feel a slight drag on the push rod. Then go an extra quarter turn. Now lock down the nut. Then do the same thing for the exhaust valve. After that, you can do the rest of your valves just by turning the crank and following the firing order.
This dual-plane air gap intake is going to give us great low RPM response, but it'll also pull all the way up to 6,500 RPM. Keep in mind, it's always a good idea to use a little adhesive to help hold your side gaskets in place. Also, if you use the stock in gaskets, make sure you apply a big dab of sealant on both corners. In our case, since we're going into aluminum heads, we need to use anti-seize on the bolts to keep from destroying the threads. Don't forget to use the proper sequence when you torque it down.
While Mel's finishing up the intake, let me show you the distributor we're going to use. That's a Mallory Unilight that uses this little light module to fire your plugs with the speed and accuracy of light. The best part is, once you have this little rascal in, you never have to mess with it again. Now, we're using a mechanical advance because this cam only produces 8 inches of vacuum. Now, with your motor at top dead center, slide the distributor in until it seats all the way into the oil pump. Then put on your cap and mark your #1 plug.
I've already put a vibration dampener on Project 383 stroker, but it's also going to need a water and fuel pump. We'll continue with the Performer series that'll keep our engine running cooler while making sure it gets plenty to drink as well.
Now, I know you're thinking we forgot about the carburetor, but come on, we wouldn't do that. Now, this 750 Performer should give us all the flow that we need. The only trick to bolting one of these down is make sure that you don't over-tighten the nuts or you could crack the housing. Of course, the crowning jewel to our engine is this angry mega scoop by B&M, nestled between classic fin valve covers.
Now that our motor can suck it in, it needs to be able to blow it out. There you go, man.
All right.
That's where these Sanderson block hugger headers come in. They have thicker flanges to prevent warping, along with the best investment you can put on a set of headers, and that's jet hot coating that won't burn off. We're also going to run these copper seal gaskets from Mr. Gasket that'll prevent leakage.
And if you think this is cool, wait till you see the transmission that goes behind it. Now you have to wait for another show for that. Stay with us. Trucks will be right back after this.
Later in the show, we'll finish up our 3-week series on paint tech. But up first, it's time for a ride in a 46 Hudson. The pickup, that is.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Amazing. That car never ages.
To help keep your car young, protect your engine with Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. Add more life to your car.
We're here with Ken Schrader. Tough day for your truck. I guess NASCAR truck racing takes a thick skin.
Now, just a thick bed liner.
New Pendoliner SR Pro. It protects better than any other bed liner because it's the thickest bed liner you can buy.
Hey, look! This is where I dropped my tranny.
Get better protection for your truck from new Pendoliner SR Pro, officially licensed bed liner of NASCAR trucks. Get a free Craftsman toolbox with a Pendoliner SR Pro. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Welcome back, everybody. Now, you've seen plenty of Ford, Chevy, and Dodge pickups rolling down the road. But this is probably a first for you. The 1946 Hudson pickup. By the way, you can put your checkbook away, because this is owned by Paul Miner of Franklin, Tennessee, and he's not selling.
This old classic is pretty close to what it looked like when it rolled off the assembly line back in '46, except for a few accessories like this toolbox that has a little bit more finish than the plate metal ones you see today. Now, the original Hudson came with a metal bed, but as you can see, they've laid down wood planks to capture that vintage look.
Some of the other options you could get from the dealership were chrome turn signals, wraparound bumpers, and fog lights. And let's face it, you just don't see a classic front end like this anymore. And speaking of good looks, the lines on this thing look like it's been chopped and channeled, but it hasn't. That's exactly the way it came from the factory.
A lot of you guys probably figured the forward tilting hood was reserved for sports cars like the Vet and T-Bird in the 50s, but Hudson was way ahead of that game. Now, you old NASCAR fans will no doubt remember this power plant. It's the Hudson Hornet Straight 6 that dominated what's now the Winston Cup Series in the early 50s.
308 cubes, and with the twin carburetors, the twin H-power, it'll go about 160 horsepower, which a lot of horses back in those days. But it had a lot of torque, won a lot of races, especially on the quarter-mile ovals, and more than once it beat out the Rocket 88 Olds V8.
Now, everybody's familiar with the late model truck interior. A lot of plastic, a lot of vinyl. But years ago, it was mostly chrome, brass, and metal, all designed to follow a common theme. Now, this is a cool option, the early beginnings of a cup holder, strategically located right close to your girlfriend's legs. Perfect for the drive-in. Now, power steering, that wasn't an option in '46, so Hudson took care of that with this huge steering wheel and this spinner knob.
Of course, this old Hudson is mostly metal, which means a whole lot more weight, so it doesn't handle quite as well as the trucks we drive today. But if spinning heads is what you're after, the '46 Hudson is definitely what you want.
And actually, I'm very proud of it, you know, and I enjoy showing it off. Now, if I could call back in my teens, I'd be out Saturday night cruising in this thing. It turns the girls' heads, I'll tell you. Once they get a look at me, though, He looked the other way.
I'll tell you what, Mel, all this driving around has made me a little hungry.
Yeah, me too. Let's go hit the Piggly Wiggly, man.
That sounds good to me.
Don't go away. We got more trucks for you after we eat.
Up next, we'll show you how to lay down the final coat in Paint Tech. And Stacy has this week's quick tip for you.
Most gas additives don't stand up to 104 Plus Octane Boost. Octane Boost eliminates hesitation and increases horsepower on the street and off the road. 104 Plus Octane Boost kicks gas. Guaranteed. Take no prisoners. 104 Plus Octane Boost.
Turn your truck bed from ordinary to extraordinary with Herculiner, the first do-it-yourself brush-on bed liner that protects your truck bed with a tough, textured, high-quality surface.
It's tough, it looks great, and I did it myself.
It's easy to apply and comes with everything you'll need.